who don't own anything, and for those of you who do, be patient with us. But for those of you who don't, your belief system doesn't really put you in a position to be able to attain ownership, afford ownership, because they want you to turn down your promotions from your job. They want you to turn down secondary education. So this technology has just allowed you to combat that foolish reasoning by getting online, taking a look at some properties, even in your state. If you can't afford it in your state, if you're in one of those expensive states like California, where it costs you six figures to buy just a piece of land, you know what I'm saying? Go to the Midwest, go down south, go do something. But this technology, again, pros and cons, is allowing you to to overcome that. Especially if Jehovah's Witnesses have people deeding their properties to them. Those who do have property, they're deeding it. Now you have something to pass down to if you have kids, or you might be, by doing that, you might be the one to break the generational wealth curse on your family. Better yet, doing something like this builds your confidence and your self-esteem, stuff that the governing body and that organization will never ever do for you. Can you imagine every day you wake up and you say, you know what, I own this property over here. I own it. If I want to move from where I am to the state where I bought this property and it's buildable and everything is right and I did my homework, I can do that. I can build on this property. It'll take away, at least in my estimation, all those years you were angry at the governing body because you couldn't find yourself in position to purchase. Now you just did for a few $100s in some cases. That's why I want you to go and look at those past tax deed sales. Some of those vacant lands were sold for like $600, $300, $400 for whatever reason. Even if you can't sell it right away, sit on it. At some point, it's going to be worth something. If you do your homework, if you buy the right piece of land, if you do your due diligence, how's that going to make you feel? Now compare that, some work you did yourself, versus leaving it in Jehovah's hands, versus letting Jesus take the wheel. You let Jesus take the wheel all this time. You left it in Jehovah's hands all this time. You ain't got no property. You hear this podcast, you start looking into this stuff, and if you got serious and did your homework, I found a way to be successful with it. That's you. Those things build confidence. That's why the Jehovah's Witness organization don't have you doing those things. Because when you get just a little bit of that success, a little bit of accomplishment, it'll lead to another one. And at some point you realize this stuff that this governing body is teaching me they don't compare. There's no results to it. That's why they don't want you going to college. That's why they always have you in a position of defeat. You get me? Assets. Prepare. Get yourself in position to adjust. You need to be able to adjust and acclimate to the changes that are happening in the world. They are happening, whether you deal with it or don't. In most cases, the people that are telling you about the changes, well, let me not say that. But you just should think about adjusting, being a chameleon, changing with the times. So much information available with this technology. You can even, still on this real estate kick, I'm sorry if I'm going off on a tangent on you guys, but it's just stuff that's been in the back of my mind for some time. But even if you go on sites like Realtor.com and Zillow, I think it's Realtor.com that actually has it. And if you're buying property in the South, they actually have a FEMA rating in terms of is this a flood area or not. You have all this information to help you make a sound decision. Something many of us, most of our lives, for whatever reason, haven't been able to do until we got older, until we started doing our due diligence, until we stopped leaving it in everybody else's hands. All this information at your disposal to make a great wealth building decision. I said a few weeks back, why are you working for free at Wallkill when you can buy a $5 app, $4.99, and start a business? I told you that the app that I use to record this podcast was free. It cost me $99 to buy the mic and the little setup that I can take anywhere and set it up. If I go on vacation next week, instead of having to cancel on you guys, I can take some time, sit down while I'm overlooking the water, while I'm fishing, and record my podcast. and get done what I need to get done. There's no more excuses. There's no more excuses for why we can't or you can't make better decisions. It is imperative that you do this now. It is imperative. Do you hear me? The Fed chairman just told you it's not going back to the way it was. And guess what? If you decide to hold this land, you can sit on it, and there may be an interested buyer who may want to, pay you a monthly income till he gets it paid off. You may be able to just go ahead and sell the entire land in cash. Okay? The point is, you just created an income for yourself. Somebody wants to buy it from you, even if this technology and the use of smart contracts and real estate that takes over, you still own land that can be sold. You still have a chance to sustain yourself. You can still buy and sell. It may not be with another human being. Who knows? I don't know. But you are in business. You're sustaining yourself and creating wealth at the same time, building up your internal systems. You understand me? Accomplishments, small, great, whatever they are, they build you. When you don't do things that you set out to do and you push them off, and those things slowly eat away at your self-esteem. But when you make a big step like that and you get it done after months or whatever your time frame is of research, that builds. There's no that depression will start to leave you. If you've made the right decisions in your healing, and now you start adding these wealth building opportunities, that depression starts to sleep away. But as long as you stay in that religion, it'll be there. It's not going anywhere. It's designed to do that to you. So why not take care of yourself in other ways? Of course, there's the healing, there's counseling, there's yoga, whatever you guys do. But this is also a way to heal. It's also a great way to keep your community if you're not interested in leaving it. And you're able to, you can buy several plots of land for future use. That way you can keep it in your community or keep it in your family. There was not too long ago, I think it was late last year, back in September, and there were 19 families who bought almost it was 100, let me pull it up. 19 families buy nearly 97 acres of land in Georgia to create a city safe for black people. 19 people got together and bought damn near 100 acres of land. They had their own reasons for doing that, right? And I want to read to you just a little bit of the article, okay? So you can kind of get an idea of what I'm trying to say. This was actually it's a CNN. Of course, I'll put the link at the bottom. It's a CNN article. Quote, "Welcome to freedom," exclaims real estate agent Ashley Scott as she surveys the nearly 97 acres of land that she and a group of 19 black families purchased in August. "I'm hoping it will be a thriving safe haven for people of color, for black families in particular," Scott says. The land sits just east of Macon in rural Wilkinson County, Georgia. Scott and her friend, investor and entrepreneur Renee Walters, didn't initially plan on buying a large plot of land, but they had a vision that was clear: to create a safe space for their black families. Being able to create a community that is thriving, that is safe, that is agriculture and commercial businesses that are supporting one another, and that dollars circulating in our community, that is our vision, end quote. Do you see what that can do for you? And not just for you. Not just for you, Jehovah's Witnesses, since you guys come from serving where the need is great. How much would you be serving a multitude of people by buying enough land to create a community of your own? That is serving. You'd be serving their businesses. You understand what I'm saying? You'd keep that, the commerce going, and it's building. It's building. It's building. It's uplifting. There's pride in that. There's joy. There's no depression in that. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yes, I am a fan of real estate. We all should be, but there are other ways to do this. Ultimately, you still have to have somewhere to live. But you can find other ways to create for yourself. You can still, people, I don't really dabble into it because it's just not for me. But stocks, people are still investing in stocks. I was reading, and I'm going to see if I can find his Instagram again and put it down the bottom for you. He invested, I think it was like $2,000 or $3,000 in whatever stock. And he doesn't necessarily, when there's a dividend to be paid to him, he doesn't necessarily take that money and spend it frivolously. He takes it and either invests it in other opportunities, or he uses it to pay bills at the house. From one investment. One. There are people out here who are buying vending machines for their children as a source of income, creating multiple sources of income. Vending machines, something I never thought about. ATM machines. All these different things are available to you because of technology. How you pay for the stuff in the vending machines, I don't know. Will it be cash or some other form? I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Technology has allowed you to do this. Spend $1,200, $1,300, get that big giant vending machine, and go to somebody's business and say, "Hey, can I put this in here?" Who's going to turn you down, really? Right? I'm pretty sure that you have to find a place with some volume, of course, some foot traffic, but it's just another avenue for you to build income. Now, I get it, current Jehovah's Witnesses. For those of you who, not been of this mind frame, it might seem challenging at first. Nothing is easy. But it can be done, and it is being done. It is being done across the country. People are finding ways now that we've been through the middle of this, whatever this thing is over the last year. People have got out and started finding ways to create income. Uber and Lyft still pay. They still pay great, generating income. Maybe you have a job now and it's not enough. Go get in the car if you got some skills. You know what I mean? If you enjoy driving, you have the customer service background and you can handle it. You know what I mean? Go create some more income for you. There's nothing wrong with that, Jehovah's Witnesses. I know you guys have been taught against it, but there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of change and still being spiritual and still believing in God. You can still balance all of those things. It's always about balance. Always. If you really know your Bible, now that we're still talking about money, if you really know your Bible, Job was rich. A lot of these characters were well-to-do. So why is it all of a sudden a problem for you, Jehovah's Witnesses? Why is the governing body telling you it's wrong for you, but the God that you worship and the Bible he created, all the people that he used in it, not all of them, but many of them were well-to-do? Contradictions. Everything's being exposed. The Bible's being examined with me and everywhere else. The point I'm making is money is not bad. Sustenance in terms of financial ability is not bad. It's good for you. It's healthy. Just balance it out. There's a guy, he's a black man, and I'm proud of him. His name is on YouTube, and his name is JT Hustles. And I don't know how often he's on, but when he's on, his sole purpose is to tell you about a money-making opportunity that you may not have been thinking about. And before I continue with him, let me let you know, you're going to have to use your muscles of discipline, Jehovah's Witnesses, because I'm really talking to you. And everybody, it's for everybody, but I'm definitely talking to you. Everything is going to require some work. Nothing falls out of the sky. That only works in the Kingdom Hall. That only works in the church. It doesn't work out here in real life. Okay? No manna is going to flop out of the sky and be ready for you to eat. You're going to have to create your own manna. So this dude, every week, has a different hustle. And it's not a hustle that don't make money. These are things that you probably thought about, you just never did. It's some of it is in the sectors that you already know, but it's just a subsector of that sector that maybe you weren't aware of. Simple stuff as simple as, buying a van and hauling stuff around for $400 or $500 a trip. People are still moving out of state. I used to do that. That is great money. It is back-breaking work. But let me tell you something. Between two people splitting $1,500, $2,000 for moving somebody from the north to the south in one day, $700, $800 between us after gas and expenses for the day. When's the last time you made $700 a day? You understand? So those things are still there. You just have to get up and go get it. And you're going to have to now. You're not going to have any other choice but to find a way to sustain yourself. You're going to have to eat. You're going to have to pay for your room and board. Even if it's your own house, you're still going to have to find a way to create income. This is not about worshiping and glorifying money. This is about your survival. Even if none of those things can work for you, if you find that none of those areas work for you, there is still something, especially as a Jehovah's Witness, that's been in the back of your mind to do